Alright, so today I'm going to review how to write the equation of a line given the graph and how to graph an equation on a coordinate plane. So, when you are trying to find the equation of a line, there's two things you have to find. Okay, one of it is the slope. Okay, so we have to find what m is. And the other thing is our b, that's our y-intercept. So let's find our slope first. Now to find the slope, you find the two dots. Okay, you start at the one on the left. And slope is rise over run. So I have to rise down first. You always go rise first. I go down 2, or you can count it like this, 2 boxes. So it's a -2 because I went down. And then I have to run across to the other point. So that's 1, 2, 3 boxes across. So my slope is -2/3. The next thing you have to find is the b. Okay, the b is the y-intercept. This is your y-axis. So the b is the dot that's on the y-axis. That would be right here. Okay, so this is 0. This would be 1, 2. So this is 1. So our b is 1. Okay, and then we just plug it into the things. We have y equals our m, which is -2/3, x, and then our b, plus 1. Okay, so you're taking these, okay, and you're plugging them into that form. This would be your answer. Okay, let's try another one. So again, the first thing you want to do is find your slope. Okay, so what m equals. Okay, so we start at the left dot. We're going to rise up. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive because we went up. And then we're going to run across. We ran across one box. If you simplify this, okay, and there are free apps to do that. There's a fraction calculator you can get from the App Store. Totally free. There's also websites. If you type in free calculator, fraction calculator, you can find some that will simplify. I posted some on Google Classroom. If you need one, let me know. Okay? When you simplify this, it just becomes 4. Now I'm going to find the b, the y-intercept. So again, this is the y-axis. So we're finding the dot that's on the y-axis. That's right down here. So this is 0, -1, -2, and you can see that this is -3. So this is -2. So our b is -2. So now we just plug it in. So I have y equals our m, which is 4, x, and then our b, which is -2. Okay, and then this is our answer. Y equals 4x minus 2. You need all of that to be the equation for that to be the answer. Alright, next one. I'm sorry for the tapping noises. I'm getting something for my Apple Pencil so it doesn't do that. I know it's annoying. Alright, so the next one, first thing we're going to do is find our slope. So this is a flat line, okay, that's not moving up or down. Think about somebody walking across this line. Okay, this is a slope of 0. Okay, it's one of our special slopes. Our y-intercept, again, this is the y-axis. You go down the y-axis, you find the dot where it's at. It's at -3 because this is 0, -1, -2, -3. So our b is -3. So we're going to have y equals our m, which is 0, x, and then our b, which is -3, so -3. Another way to write this is just y equals -3. Okay, so those are the two ways that you can write it. This one's a better way if you can write it that way. Alright, next one. So first we're going to find our m, find our slope. Okay, so starting here we have to rise down. We went down 1, so -1. And then we run across one box. If you simplify, -1/1 is just -1. Our b is where the dot is on the y-axis, right here. It's at the center, so our b is 0. So if we write the equation, we have y equals our m, which is -1, x, and then we have the 0, plus 0. So there's more ways that you can write this. Okay, so I can write y equals -x, because I really don't need the 1 there. That's just added. And the plus 0 means that nothing else is there. Okay, so this would be your simplified answer right here. Okay, last one. So first thing I'm going to do is find my slope. Okay, I don't have 2 dots that I can rise over run. Okay, but I know if I try to walk across this line, I can't do it. It's like the wall in my room. Okay, so that means this is undefined. Okay, and I don't have a y-intercept, because if I look at the y-axis, there's no points on the y-axis. However, the x-axis, I have a point right here, 4, 5, at 5. So I have x equals 5. And that is actually our answer, x equals 5, because it's on the x-axis. So that is writing the equations given a graph. So what we're going to do next is they're going to give us the equation and we're going to graph it. So looking at this one, the first one you want to start with is your b. Okay, remember b is the number that comes at the end. Okay, it comes after the x. It has no letter next to it. Okay, that's your b, your y-intercept. Okay, the b is where you begin. Okay, so at the y-axis, you're going to find -4. So on this line, going down, you're going to find -4. You're going to put your dot. Okay, now we can find the slope. The slope is what's in front of x, so 3. I'm going to change it to a fraction by putting 1 underneath it. That way I can rise and run. Okay, so I'm going to rise because it's positive, and then run across. Always run to the right. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and across 1. Okay, at this point you can connect them together, and you have your graph. Okay, so the b is where you start, you begin. The m is how you find the second point. Let's try this one. So our b is a number that comes after the term with x. Okay, it's the constant, the number that's by itself. So we use the y-axis. We go down till we find 1, put a dot, and then we look at our slope. Our slope is -1/2. Okay, it's the number in front of x. Since it's negative, we're going to move down and then to the right. So from this point, we're going to move down 1, then to the right 2, put our dot. Okay, once you have the 2 dots, you just connect it together. My lines are not straight because I do not have a ruler. Alright, next one. Okay, our b is 3. Okay, because it doesn't have an x next to it. So I'm going to find the y-axis, find 3. I'm going to put a dot at 3. And then my slope is the number that's by x. I don't have an x, so my slope is 0. And I know that a 0 slope goes straight across. It's like the floor, a flat surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my line and make it a flat line going across. So what you can do on Edulastic is you put your first dot and then you just put the second dot next to it and it will make it a flat line. Okay, next one. Y equals x. So first thing I'm going to do is find my y-intercept. That would be what comes after x. There's nothing there, so it's a 0. The slope, the m, is what is in front of x. There's nothing there, but we know that there's 1x. So our slope would be 1. I put a 1 underneath it to make it into a fraction. Okay, so we're going to be moving up because it's positive, and then to the right. So our starting point on the y-axis is 0, so that's the center of the graph. And then my slope tells me to start here, go up 1 to the right 1, and then I can connect them together to make my line. Okay, last one, so I'm going to find my b, my y-intercept. This is an x, it's not a y. There is no y-intercept. But I do know that this x is going to be on the x-axis. So I know my point is on the x-axis. Also, my M for this one is undefined. Okay, so that means it's going to be a line that goes up and down. So in this point, I'm going to draw a line that goes straight up and down. On Edulastic, you would put your first point here, and then you'd put your second point above it. And then it will create the line that goes up and down. So I went over how to write the equation given a graph, and then I showed you how to graph an equation, given an equation, graph it on a coordinate plane. You're going to practice this today. I do have Google Meet set up for each class. Okay, so I will meet with you guys later, go over more problems if you need it. And then next Tuesday, we're going to end up doing an assessment on writing the equation of a graph and graphing the equation of a line. Okay, so I'm going to do Google Meets a few times next week. Okay, I'm going to try and make it a routine. Okay, that way we can do more FaceTime. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.